Hey everybody, welcome back to week 3 of 4 of the Christmas special. I understand that week 3 is a little behind schedule. That is because I've been sick the last couple days, but this is gonna be up, and definitely also expect week 4 that will be up by the end of this week as well. But anyway, let's just dive right into it. So I'm really excited to talk about today's topic, which is mainly focusing on the new year, of course, because as we all know, we have a new year ahead of us, 2024, and I really want to focus in on what we're bringing with us into 2024 internally and externally in our lives. And here we go. So everyone naturally is getting pumped up. Everybody's finding some profound motivation to hit the gym or achieve our goals. And while creating goals and being excited about them is good, I want to preface the importance of the kind of goals you're making for yourself, such as how realistic you're being, because, for example, if you were expecting to plunge yourself into a brand new eating style or a whole new workout plan and anticipating to stick to it when you haven't even worked out in like a long time or ever even, you're going to be disappointed very quickly. And this is actually how most people burn out by the end of January. You notice how much or how empty the gym is compared to what it was January 1st, and we all quickly go back to our previous state of quote-unquote comfort, because not all comfort is good comfort. In fact, I would go as far to say comfort isn't somewhere you want to stay in too long ever, because that means you're comfortable, of course. And when you're comfortable, do you ever want to be uncomfortable? No, of course not. I didn't think so, because it's an unpleasant feeling, but we actually need discomfort. If we didn't have discomfort, we'd stay in the same place all the time. I know a lot of people that would hear this and probably think, well, that sounds great. Realistically, nobody likes change, and ignorance is bliss, truly. However, if we don't change, we don't grow. And when we don't grow, we stay stagnant, and life gets stale really quick, and we don't live life to its fullest. We don't meet new best friends or lifelong partners. We don't learn. We don't develop. We just remain. When you set a goal, its very definition is an effort or ambition to reach a certain destination. But if your journey to the very destination isn't enjoyment, and it's purely based on or longed for upon reaching what somebody else already has, or it surely is a race rather than a trip, then you may as well not even bother. I want you guys to remember this when you're making your goals for 2024, or when you think about New Year's resolutions, or whatever you want to call it, because your goals must, I repeat, must be realistic, and they have to have purpose. And finally, they must be for you, not for somebody else's approval, attention, not out of ill will or jealousy, not from comparison, but for you. It's how you want to grow, improve, and change as a person. So for example, if you truly want to change your body for yourself and you want to hit the gym, you're not going to go straight for a weight that's 100 pounds. You're going to build up to it by starting with 10 or 20 pounds maybe. The point is that it's about progression. And in order to not grow into hating a certain task for your dream destination, you need to start enjoying the journey there too. Start making it fun for yourself and romanticize things. I'm always going to preach stay delusional. Not too delusional, but enough delusional to find the smallest things so insanely exciting, like as if you're a child for the first time experiencing walking outside or playing on a playground. You need to romanticize your life. Otherwise, you're going to be constantly miserable, and you're not going to find the joy in life. And again, you're going to start seeing things very black and white when you could be looking at the world with rose-tinted glasses. You know what I mean? I think one of the very foundations to happiness, or truly having gratitude, starts with being especially appreciative of what may appear to be little things, and to really relish in them and get excited about it. You can't spend life waiting for fun and excitement to come to you. You have to make it for yourself. You can't keep living in comfort and then expect change and opportunity to make its way to you. In order to grow and do something different, the first step is walking out of your safety net. You can take this idea and compare it to almost anybody famous or successful. So if you're planning your goals out for next year and you're wanting to thrive, make them realistic and true to you. Be honest with yourself and enjoy the journey. everybody's on their own timeline, so don't stress it. Something really crucial is your fuel. And I'm not talking like sleep or food, although these things are important. I mean mental fuel. Because come on, if we're trying to attain a goal and we are already outside of our comfort zone and we're criticizing every move we make and doubting every word we speak, or we're telling ourselves we can't do it or we're missing something, how do you think you are going to feel? Because it certainly won't be confident, motivated, or anything helpful to us. That's just being honest. I fully understand some of us have made habits of just straight negative self-talk, and it's hard. It is a hard cycle to break. Believe it or not, our biggest enemy a lot of the time when we are facing resistance will be ourselves. And even then, when we are fueling ourselves with patience and kindness, we have a greater enemy who is constantly preying on our downfall, and that is Satan, if you didn't guess it. I mean, seriously, this guy is plotting every single thing he can against us to slow us down or overcome us with hardships like depression or a broken friendship or partnership. Any door that is open a crack, he is using to the best of his ability. And we don't even realize sometimes that even the smallest inconveniences that we let run the rest of our day or our mood, he's using this to his advantage. You must, and I repeat, must be stronger than the illness you're facing, maybe, or the struggle you may be facing, or the conflict you may be facing, and so on, so on, so on. I could just keep going and going. This is why we need to cling to the word so deeply, because it grounds us. It's our medicine. It heals our body. It heals our mind. It heals our spirit. Even says in Proverbs chapter 3, verse 8, "It shall be health to thy navel and marrow to thy bones." That's saying be healing to your flesh and refreshment to your bones. We're talking about the word here. This is why it's not only important to read the Bible, not just because it's honoring to God, but it's helping us, like, majorly. Lets us know who our God is. It binds us closer to Jesus, and it keeps us focused. This can tie into how truly important it is that we don't let our emotions run us and so many other important topics the Bible tells us about. So make it a habit going into the new year, and make it sick that you will be intentional with what not only you are fueling your mind with, but what you are allowing to fill or take over your mind and affect your day, and before you know it, your whole life. This is not an easy task, and sometimes things will get the better of you, but it's okay because we're human and we have a God who's perfect to follow and learn from. Now, let me just preface as well that all these things that I talk about that I already have spoken upon or I'm going into now, or in part 2 of this episode, which would be week 4, of course, these things can be applied to everything. Not just, at the right timing or scheduling or at the new year, going into a fresh, kind of reset. Like, this should be something you apply all the time, but the timing, ironically enough, of it coming on to the new year 2024, it's a good time to address these things, but let me just say that these are things we should always be applying. Moving forward, I want to tackle another very important internal change, or sentiment, I should say, that we should hold heavy to ourselves and act on with others is forgiveness. And I know a lot of people are probably rolling their eyes or feeling like they just got called out. They're like, her, me, them. Yes, you. Yes, them. And I mean, I could even be calling myself out here. Like, everyone's guilty of, having a bit of resentment held, possibly, or not really wanting to forgive someone, but we're gonna dive into this here. All I hear about forgiveness is, why should I forgive them when they don't care, or when they did this, or blah, blah, blah. And listen, first, I'll give you the standard, honest answer, and then I'll talk about you. Yes, you. It's literally, which I know you'll love to hear, so just hear me out. First off, we forgive because he forgave us. We are no better than anyone else on this earth, and if a perfect man like Jesus can forgive all of us for every single nasty sin anyone has ever committed, then we can certainly forgive someone like ourselves. Or Colossians chapter 3, verse 13 says, "Forbearing one another and forgiving one another. If any man have a quarrel against any, even as Christ forgave you, so also do ye." If that wasn't enough to convince you, I'll tell you that second off, when we don't forgive people, we hold resentment and bitterness, and this cultivates in our hearts, and this festers, and it's gonna turn you into a bitter person and a mean, resentful person, and so on and so forth. In Ephesians chapter 4, verse 31 to 32 even says, "Let all bitterness and wrath and anger and clamor and evil speaking be put away from you with all malice." 32, and be ye kind one to another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, even as God for Christ's sake hath forgiven you. So, if anything, forgiving is better for yourself as well, even self-closure, if you maybe haven't gotten it from the other person. And for the record, I will also say that sometimes the best closure is none. You don't always need closure to move on or to forgive somebody. Sometimes it's better left unspoken and silently forgiven in your own peace of mind, no matter how sad or hurtful it may be. Also, this is not to say bad people or bad actions get let by and unpunished, because I assure you, God is a just God. But he stresses that we do not take matters into our own hand, meaning never seek revenge. Proverbs chapter 20, verse 22, "Say not thou, I will recompense evil." I may have said that word wrong, but it's okay. But wait on the Lord, and he shall save thee. AKA, let the Lord handle the situation and deal out the vengeance, not you. In fact, it even says in this verse, Romans chapter 12, verse 19 to 21, "Dearly beloved, avenge not yourselves, but rather give place unto wrath, for it is written, Vengeance is mine, I will repay, saith the Lord." And then he even tells us to continue to do good and be kind to people, even if they've wronged us. Speaking in verse 20, "Therefore, if thy enemy hunger, feed him. If he thirst, give him drink. For in so doing thou shalt heap coals of fire on his head. Be not overcome of evil, but overcome evil with good." And I'm going to say that again because it's just so good. I love that little finishing touch. It says, "Be not overcome of evil, but overcome evil with good." I think that's just so powerful. It's just such a strong message. I think nothing speaks more about your character and who you are than how you behave when you're not on good terms with someone, or someone switches up on you, or you're at the bottom of the barrel in life. Like how are you treating people? How are you behaving? What are your actions? Or when people are throwing dirt in your eye, how are you behaving and responding to it? I think that's a really strong message, and I think that's something everyone could work on just in life, and how we deal and cope with things, even when things aren't going right and we don't have or we have a great friend circle and everybody loves us and blah blah blah. Like, it speaks a lot, and I think we should all remember going into 2024 the importance of that, and who and how and what we want our character to be. And we should really reflect on 2023 and think about really what we want to do next and who we want to be in the future. I think that about covers mostly everything. We talked about progression, we talked about realistic goals and intention, we talked about forgiveness, and I also addressed the importance of our character. With that being said, I do want to close off with Jeremiah chapter 29, verse 11. "For I know the thoughts that I think toward you, saith the Lord, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you an expected end." And I think that's a nice, peaceful little verse to end this episode off on. Thank you for listening to today's episode, week 3 of the 4 for December. This episode will be part 1 out of 2. You can expect week 4 to be part 2 of this. Later this week's episode, we're going to be discussing more the externals of this topic rather than the internals we can change. We're going to discuss the crowd we keep around us and judgment and all that good stuff. And I give a bit of my personal advice on changing and progression and things like that I've personally experienced and found to be helpful. And yeah, that'll close off 2023. With that being said, thank you for listening and have a great day or night. Bye.